the whole premise or theory of a good man or a good woman when it comes to, finding that future person or being with that future person, especially if you're dating out there or if you're single but you're looking for your next mate. And some people say, hey, I want a good man or hey, I want a good woman. But to that same end, what is that, right? Like, what is that definition of a good man or a good woman? Is there a blueprint for that? Is there like a diagram where you can build a good man or a good woman? Or is it like the person that you meet is somehow, some way good for you or something along those lines? So for me, in just hearing, the premise of that particular statement, I want to say it's a coin toss because there's, I think everybody has an idea of what they may want in a mate. And I think that everybody wants something particular from the other person. But I also think that those conversations should be talked about in that whole courting process to figure out if this person is going to be the right person for you. And a lot of times it happens. A lot of times it don't. But again, I also do think that when people are on the search for that next person to be in their life, I think that sometimes the expectation of what they want is unrealistic. And say it like this, okay? If you're looking for somebody that's making high income and has their own house, their own car, has good credit, and you look at the things that you may have, and it doesn't coincide with the things that you're looking for, then sometimes, right, that might make you question certain things, because if you don't question it, they might question it, okay? That person might question it. How about that? Would you agree? Like, what you guys think about that premise?
Coincide.
I'm just saying. I mean,
the real thing is what Josh is really saying is if you ain't making 6 figures, then don't be up there expecting him to make 6 figures. Like, I'm just saying, if you don't have a car, then don't be up there trying to put that expectation off on him. How about you get yourself where you need to be, so the person you want to be with will be where they need to be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I agree.
That's how I see it.
That's how most should see it, but sometimes that doesn't work out that way. Like, it doesn't. And then that folds back into that premise of, good man, good woman. So does that mean the person has to have a good job, good attitude, be respectful, take care of their kids? Would that be considered what a good person would be, or is that just a starter package? And then they need to have all the money on top of that. I'm just saying. Like,
well, I don't particularly know what people consider as a good man or a good woman.
I'm just theorizing.
I don't think it's a universal good man or good woman. Maybe they just have like an idea of what their expectations are in the person that they're wanting to date, that they might consider being good. Yeah, I think that makes a little bit more sense. Then, I want a good man, because it could be a good man because, he dressed nice. Mm-hmm. But is that a good man? Like, so I'm thinking you would on certain basis, they should have an idea on what would be good for them. But I don't know if it's a blueprint for that. I don't think so. But maybe, maybe one of our other people knows. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think there's a blueprint. I really do.
You maybe got a blueprint.
There is a blueprint. Yeah, I think we all have a blueprint. We just not realize it.
What I was saying is, I don't know if it's a blueprint to determine he gonna be a good man. That's not like a universal blueprint for that. Everybody has their own definition on what good is.
I agree. I think there are some foundational things that we want to find in our significant others, whether that's male or female. To be honest, I think one of the key ones, and probably one of the most key, is going to be loyalty, honesty. I guess that commitment level where you can kind of be comfortable knowing that they're not looking at other options or stepping out of the relationship. We all want our significant other to be committed in that regard, where that's not a concern of ours. I don't know anyone who gets a relationship without that being a core expectation, right? So I think we can say that in the Blueprint book, a loyal or a committed partner is definitely on there, right? I think another one is self-sufficient. Now that looks different in different, people's eyes, but self-sufficient means that outside of me entering your life, you were able to survive by yourself, right? Really simple, okay? We can make it this real simple. So before I came into your life and whatever I brought, you were able to live your life by yourself and survive by yourself. Now there's different levels of self-sufficiency. We talked about 6 figures. We talked about, all those different, hierarchies when it comes to, the financial side of things. But we want to know that at the minimum, our partner can survive by themselves so that we're comfortable joining them in that space or inviting them in our space, depending on the role of the person in play. So I think those are 2 things for sure that's in everyone's blueprint book. And then I think the personality key is probably a 3rd blueprint item. People want to be with a companion whose personality fits it fits what they desire out of their partner. Now, that can vary, but I think the personality is a big picture, a big ticket item. Whether that's funny, whether that's, compassionate, whether that's loving, whether that's protective. All those are personality traits, but it falls under personality. So I think when you're looking for that 100% person or that companion, you definitely want someone that's self-sufficient, you want someone that's loyal, committed, and you want someone that has a personality trait that aligns with what you would want out of yourself. I think those are 3 core things. We can blueprint those.
Interesting.
I actually agree with that. Those are solid. I like that. Okay.
Yeah, we can blueprint those.
You're right. I'm putting it in my mental.
We can't blueprint that 100%. Like they gonna be 100%, because I don't know nobody that's 100%.
I agree.
Like, you mean 100% loyal?
Well, Emmanuel said they gonna be 100% all that, but sometimes people do have their own lack or their own issues or their own whatever you want to call it. So I don't know if they're 100%, but yeah, as long as they meet enough for you, you good.
I mean, I was pretty sure he was talking about a good rough estimate, though.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's 100%. I don't think that exists. I don't think that's possible. Like, yeah.
Yeah, he was just talking about the basic format.
Well, we were just, clearing it up. So.
Right. Yeah, nobody's 100%. I mean, yeah. For sure. For sure.
The listeners need to just have that cleared up. That's all.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's one of them read between the line moments right there. Like you know that this person is not going to be, or hopefully they will be, close to 100%. That's what you're hoping for. Okay. Now there are rooms.
Now, what planet you live on?
There's room for variables. Okay, things that do happen in life. Okay. Okay, you gotta leave room for that. Okay.
But what planet you live on? You live on the same planet I do?
I live on this big round globe called Earth. Okay. And some people think that it may be flat, but it's not flat. Okay, this is a round Earth. Okay, like I just said.
You do therapy and you coach.
I just said. So, like I said, even me doing those two things, I do leave room for error, okay? Because people are human, okay?
You already know.
People are human. Like, we all are human.
We are human.
Yes, we all are human, but those instances, that he was talking about, loyalty, personality traits, those types of things, those are general ideas of what a person might like.
I like them, though.
In a particular suitor or whatever.
I like them.
Yeah, I like those too. But then again, once you have those three principles, you can add on all your additional stuff that you want to add on top of that. And hopefully, you have to paint it with a little realistic brush, just realistic, because a lot of those things depend on the person, the time frame, the area. A lot of that just depends on that. Like, you might need to outsource, go a little bit further out to find what you're looking for. Okay, you don't know. Okay, like,
so they can go online. Is online good?
I mean,
it's an option.
People do online. Look, see.
Is that a yes or a no?
That was like preferred route.
Yeah, that look like an in between.
Right. That was like no, maybe so kind of complex.
You gotta explain that. What was that?
That was uncertain. That was not certain that that's the route I want to take. Okay. I mean, like Aphrodite said, there are people that have found great levels of happiness online. And more power to them. I just don't think that's my preferred route. And that could change. Who knows? It could change. I'm not against it. I'm open-minded. At the end of the day, the objective is to find love. Mm-hmm. And you can find love in the craziest of places. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That sounds like a country song.
Yeah, it does.
You can find love in some of the craziest places. It do. Like, that, you can. I mean, I just think that when you do find that person, you just have to have a good idea of what you're looking for. Like, because it's kind of hard to meet somebody and not express to them your needs and your particular desires for that relationship. I think that's more of what it is, especially when you talk about that. I guess that overall question, a good man or a good woman. I think that's open to interpretation. I think.
Yes, I can agree.
100% open to interpretation. You want to get one answer that's the same. You want to get an answer that's the same, no matter who you talk to. Everyone's answer will be different.
You're right. But I think that I've, I guess, figured out over time that everybody wants at least one thing that's similar. And I think that a person that can communicate is something that everybody wants. Like they can actually openly communicate how they feel. Because I think that a lot of times that's where a lot of people get lost at. It's like that, you know, you find a person, meet a person, you want to talk to that person about how you feel and they don't understand.
Mm-hmm.
And again, that goes back to that premise, what is a good person, what is a good man, what is a good woman. I think that, you know, adding to Emmanuel's list that he compiled over here, the little mini list, I think we should put communication on that list too, you know. You need somebody that can communicate their message.
Have above average communication.
I was going to say above average, but I was just going to say, you know, I was going to dial it down for tonight, okay? I was going to dial it down for tonight, okay? Just communication. You need to be a good communicator, be able to understand where the other person is coming from, right?
Okay.
Yeah, that's big. That's definitely on the blueprint list.
It is. See, we compiling this list now. Okay, hey, it's building. We got 4 things on there right now. Okay,
that we can all agree is important. Very important.
Nrgy, are you okay?
I'm
quiet. You quiet. Hey, you quiet today. I need some structure.
Structure, yes.
Yeah, I need you to.
You already know. So my perspective on the topic is actually a hybrid between Aphrodite and Emmanuel. Yes, y'all know how I am. There's nothing that we can do without a foundation. Anything that needs to grow, anything that needs to be sustained over time, you have to have that foundation first. And even if people don't necessarily know what traits or qualities makes a good man or a good woman for them, the underlying principles are still there, just as Emmanuel was listing. One thing that I would also add to that list is respect. But then adding on what Aphrodite was saying, that there is no one size fits all blueprint either. But once you take that foundation of the basics and then you start adding on individual people's preferences, then that's where the mesh comes in and that's where it becomes hybrid. So there was not much for me to say because they both said it, and I'll just, tie it all together and put a pretty little bow on it. It definitely is a hybrid of both perspectives. There is a thing called the foundational requirements or wish list or whatnot for what a good man and a good woman is. Not everyone can actually explain it. Not everyone maybe knows, what those things are, what those traits or principles are. But here tonight, we've done a great job with at least listing the first, 4 or 5 so far, just to give people an idea, to give people a head start, because there are a lot of people who don't know what makes a good relationship, period. You have some people, for an extreme example, you have some people who believe that physical violence is a way that someone shows that they love them, because people's views of love and relationships and things like that are so skewed and tainted just from over the years of being exposed to different things, of things that they were taught, just different things that they have experienced as well. And so just listing those things, the principles tonight, are definitely going to help people understand these are at least the basics that you want to have within a person as either a good man or a good woman. And then taking on what Aphrodite was saying, adding those little extra sprinkles to make them now more what you prefer for you in particular. So yeah, that's my perspective on this so far.
Okay. We needed that. I like that.
Like that hybrid. Okay.
Good.
Okay.
Well said. So my question though is, because Emmanuel, he started this beautiful list here, right? Like he had the 4 things, the 4 general concepts of it. And of course, me and him, we're the guys over here. So would you say the list that he compiled, would that apply both ways, right? Like the list, that general list, like would that work for women as well as men, or would that be different for women?
I think that's a gender neutral type of list. It's acceptable both ways. It doesn't depend on the sex at all.
Okay.
Right. I agree.
I was just wondering, because throw that little extra in there, because sometimes you might add a little something extra on top of that. So that we may be missing, right? Like we may be missing it. So that's just part of it right there. So my thing though is that if you have the 4, fundamental basics or 5 fundamental basics that we have there, do you think that it would be fair for a person to ask something from another person that that they could not provide?
No. If you know they can't provide it,
why would you ask?
Fair to ask? No.
Because you know how common it is, though.
Yeah.
For a person to ask something from another person that you obviously know that they can't provide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unrealistic expectations. That happens all the time.
Right.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah. And the only reason why I brought that up is a lot of people, a good portion of those, a good portion of people have those fundamental basics that we were just talking about.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But sometimes human nature pushes us to ask for things that are outside of the scope of those 4 things that we were just talking about. And that's what pushes people to think that they don't have a good man or a good woman. Right? Because the core beliefs, the core is there. Like those 5 things is there. But sometimes you get greedy, right? Like
we want more, man. We want it all, man. We only got one life to live, man. We want it all.
Hey,
don't sell yourself short. We're going for the gold.
And your feelings be hurt.
Hey, we're going for the gold, man.
But that's what I'm saying, right? Like, that's kind of why I brought up that narrative, man, because sometimes people have a really good thing at home, right? Like, they got a really good thing going. And it's not ideal, like, right? Like, it's not perfect, but it's something, like something good going on right there, right? So you start thinking, all I need is just one little thing right here. This one little thing to be added to the little mix.
You want a little bit more, man?
Then when you reach
you
out,
gotta weigh the cost of that one thing, though.
Yep.
Yeah, that's true. You gotta weigh the cost of it. That's 100% true, because that's what we all end up doing. Because nobody is 100%. So you weigh the cost of that one piece that's or 2 or 3, or depending on the person, could be more. Or those pieces that's missing, and you determine whether or not, it's a deal breaker for you or not. And there's not one person that has never had to do that. Because nobody's perfect.
You're right.
That's why it's important to have those non-negotiables predetermined before you even get into a relationship. So you know what's important, what's necessary, what's required versus, that would be nice, but I'm not going to sacrifice what I have for just this extra little bit. So, yeah.
Yeah. But that's the kicker there. A lot of people start off like what you just said. Right, like they got those predetermined, they got those lofty ideas, right? They got that, they got these lofty ideas. It's got funny.
This is good, though. This is good.
Got those lofty ideas, and then halfway through the relationship, where the ideas go? Like they're not there anymore. So, how do you stay true to those ideas that you started off, right? Like, how do you continue to remind yourself that this is what you need for your life when you're going through stuff?
Well, one, you have those check-in conversations with yourself on a regular basis, just like it's important to have the same check-in conversations with your partner on a regular basis. And then also just understanding and having the proper expectation, the realistic expectation of understanding that we're going to change over time. Everyone's going to continually evolve and just change as time goes on, as we get older, as certain things happen in life, as you lose family members, you may get a promotion or a demotion in your job, you may have a kid, you may not have, there's so many different things that will eventually happen throughout the course of a relationship that it's almost inevitable that it will adjust those original non-negotiables. But with that being said, that's why it's important to have check-ins with yourself to see if you're still on your same track, and then also having a check-in conversation with your partner as well. And one more thing that can also help is by when you're meeting someone and you're getting to know someone, just do your best to find someone whose values are in alignment with yours. They may not be exactly the same, but are they at least headed in the same direction, versus your values are down this way, his or hers are down that way, and you're constantly pulling away from each other. So if your values are at least in alignment and they can travel parallel to each other, then that will also help with those changes that are going to happen eventually over time. They're not going to be so disruptive.
Makes a lot of sense.
That's good stuff.
It does. I was just honestly just curious because, like you said, a lot of times when people go through stuff, people don't think about that.
Nope.
At all. You're only focused on the stuff that you're going through currently, which is trying to figure out a solution or a place for it to not be as painful or not be as stressing on your life. So, to add to what you said, I would say even when you think that the grass is greener on the other side, I would say self-awareness plus self-care. To give yourself an opportunity to experience different activities, whether that's painting or yoga or whatever that is, right? But you're still experiencing new activities, but inside of your current relationship.
Right.
But if you're still doing the same stuff with the same person, obviously, that's going to lead certain things to be noticeable. Certain inconsistencies, certain things that you would like to be better, but they're not currently that way. Right.
Yep.
But that's just my little add to that, okay? Because you did a great job of summarizing that up. I do like that, okay? Hey, what?
I appreciate it. Thank you.
I'm just saying, I am big on showing appreciation. I got to show some appreciation right there. But that's the main reason I think that we were kind of getting into this good man, good woman discussion. Very broad because it's all about the person and the perspective and what a person wants for their own life. And just to summarize this grand scheme of things up and stuff like that, you have to get to a point where you do what's right for you. Like what's right for your life, what's right for your family's life, what's right for your future. My only thing about, what's good for you is to make sure that your values, your idea of what a good man or a good woman is your ideas, not social media's ideas, not Instagram ideas, not TikTok ideas, not Facebook ideas, not Twitter ideas, not LinkedIn ideas, not what's that other thing called? Twitch ideas, not OnlyFans ideas. I was just going down the list, okay? Because a lot of people be getting these ideas from all these different places, and they not if not
OnlyFans is a bad idea.
Exactly. It is. But again, I just want to make sure that people know these have to be your ideas. Don't create these ideas from nowhere else out there. Like, this has to be something that's for you. Like, your ideas, okay? That's my story. I'm sticking to it. Okay?
With the OnlyFans.
I was just trying to make sure you was paying attention. So, throw it in there. Why not?
Whoa. OnlyFans. How about that?
So, you guys, how would you summarize this beautiful topic? Yeah.
So for me, I'll say when it comes to expecting to be in a relationship with a good man or a good woman, you first need to make sure that you yourself are either that same good man or that same good woman. Having the proper expectations, not only for the other person, but for yourself as well. And yeah, just continue to just be realistic in anything that you ever do whenever you are engaging in conversations with another person, whenever you are meeting another person, just truly find out who they are to their core, find out what their foundational principles are, find out what their character traits are, and then also pay attention to your own as well, because the law of attraction is real. I'm Coach Nrgy. These are my thoughts, and I am done speaking.
So, yeah, all what Coach Nrgy said, that she's Coach Nrgy, she's done speaking. That's it. But I totally agree with both of you all on y'all perspectives on what a person might consider a good man and a good woman. And just to expound on, the list that was originally compiled amongst each other is a good way to start a foundation for yourself, and then build upon that foundation however you see fit for yourself, and just expound on also, like, check you, because the fact is that if you can't bring it to the table, then don't be having that unrealistic conversation. Like, he better bring it to the table, or she better bring it to the table. Just like, you have to be honest with yourself first in order to be honest in the relationship.
Good thought.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Mm-hmm. Finally,
yeah, I agree. I agree with both. I agree with both their perspectives. I think the biggest thing is, as Coach Nrgy mentioned, just being, understanding yourself first, completely getting comfortable with yourself, your standard, reevaluating that standard, because as life, hits you, things will change. Your non-negotiables do become negotiable, based upon, the curves that life may throw at you. And then on top of that, once you have done that reevaluation and all of and understanding of what you need as an individual, focusing on the foundational, aspects that you want out of your partner. All of the extra, most of that is superficial. Most of that will wear off at some point. And the foundational that we spoke of, those generally don't wear away as quickly. Those are more long-term things. So you want to know that long-term, because that's why we're getting in relationships. We're getting in relationships for long-term. There's some foundational aspects that your partner holds that will allow that relationship to stay strong through the test of time. So this is Emmanuel, and I want to be like Coach Nrgy, and I'm done speaking.
dropped the mic.
And he dropped the mic.
He dropped the mic.
He dropped the mic.
All right. So another episode. Adding perspective with Josh. I'm Josh.
I'm Coach Nrgy.
I'm Aphrodite. And Emmanuel dropped the mic.
Right.